Hi, this is Lisa Decker with Divorcetown USA and DivorceMoneyMatters.com, and thank you so much for joining us at the Divorce Way Cafe today in our experts interview series. And I am delighted to have joining us today Maria Thomas Keegan, and she is a fabulous divorce coach. And I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Maria. She's a certified life transition coach who specializes in helping professional women who are divorced or going through it rediscover themselves so they can step into their new lives and create it by design rather than by default. I like that. She believes that women can thrive in whatever they decide to do when they get crystal clear about their values, passions, and desires, take time to create the vision of what they want, and commit to making the changes that will bring vision to their life. And commitment is a big thing. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. This enables women to take off their mask, break down the protective walls, and become their authentic self. And Maria has been in the multinational corporate world. It was during that time that she was laid off, and as she calls it, had a kick in the teeth, as it turned out, which that became a big blessing in her life. And she turned the negative circumstance into a positive opportunity to make yet another major life transition, which put her passions and talents to good use, creating her next career as a full-time coach and mentor for professional women. And on her personal side, she has had her share of life's upheavals, navigating successfully through each of them and learning valuable lessons along the way. Yes, aren't challenges meant for that in life? She has experienced divorce, made several career changes, and managed a lifestyle transition along with relocation from Metro New York to Arizona. And today she's going to be talking with us about how to bring hope, happiness, and healing to your holidays. And Maria, welcome to this Google Hangout interview.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
And we are glad you're here. And Susanna, folks watching, you'll see another lovely face here in the bottom, and that is my assistant, Susanna, who's going to be helping us today if we have any technical issues. Maria and I have been hanging out for a while here, trying to get things going, and Susanna's popped in to make sure that we are here having fun today, bringing you some great tips and tools to help you get through the holidays in a better way. So, Maria, tell us a little bit about yourself other than what I've shared, and then I know you've got a couple of best-selling books. I want to hear a little bit about that before we actually get into really what we're here to talk about today. Just share a little bit more if you would.
Okay, sure. I think I've been a coach and a mentor of women and people in my life all my life. I remember as a little girl that people would come to me and just ask for my opinion, ask me to help them just sort things out, and I did that gladly, lovingly, and it permeated through my high school years, my college time, and then into my career. And I have been coaching, mentoring, and training people to be the best they can be for over 30 years.
Fantastic.
And then when I got to that, I was with IBM for a long time, and that's when I got what they call a resource action. It's a nice phrase for layoff after 18 years, and I so did not expect it. It was not in my plan, and I decided at that point that I was going to start doing just the most fun thing I could think of doing, and that is to continue to coach and mentor. And having been through a couple of divorces myself, I know how hard it is to be a professional woman keeping the mask on like everything's fine and crumbling inside. Very isolated. And that's when I decided to educate myself more about the profession of coaching, and I got my certification, and I decided to work with professional women as they go through a divorce to try to make it easier for them than it was for me.
And isn't that what life challenges are all about? I've experienced my own, not a divorce, but breast cancer and other challenges, and I find that, looking at the attitude of where is the blessing within? How can I help someone else with what I've learned? And it sounds like that's exactly what you've done here. You've taken your own challenges and turned them into not only a new career, but a passion, a joy in helping others to overcome this very challenging time in your life. So let's talk about the holidays. They're right upon us here. We've got Thanksgiving nearly around the corner, and it won't be long before Christmas is just behind, or Hanukkah, whatever folks are celebrating. And so, it's a joyous time, but it's also a very difficult time for those who may be going through other challenges at the same time. A lot of people experience loneliness and isolation. Depression is much higher during the holidays, and so we want today, you and I, to bring folks some tips and tools and tactics on how they can bring more joy into their holidays. So why don't you share a few of those things with us?
Okay, so one of my favorite things to do when things are not going the way we'd like. So change. Just talk about change for a second. It's everywhere. We can't escape it. And whether it's a transition, a divorce transition, or what may come along with that, or it may have nothing to do with divorce at all. It may be a huge relocation from one major city to another, one country to another. It could be that we've decided to retire, big transition. All of those changes could be empty nest. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be any one of those major transition changes that just set us off kilter. And when that happens, I find that reaching inside ourselves helps us to get a sense of calm. And when we breathe deeply, some people like to meditate. I love to meditate. Getting calm, quiet, allowing ourselves just to be is an enormous help in putting the hustle and bustle of the holiday season kind of in its place. It doesn't have to be doing if we take time just to stop for a second, take a deep breath, and just be, and give ourselves some time to do that. That's the first thing I think we need to do to release some of the stress, relieve ourselves from some of the stress that we feel often around the holidays.
And that's a great point, and a lot of people have a hard time with meditation, if you will. Everybody's got a different thought of what that is, and really it doesn't have to be something formal. It can be just something simple as sitting down and consciously saying, I'm going to sit here and breathe and just be with my breath for 30, 60 seconds, something like that. Those little mini breaks can do so much for our mental and our physical health. Some people can do walking meditation. That's one of my favorite things. Just get out of your regular surroundings, get outside, take a walk, and try to clear your head, get some fresh air, and that can go a long way as well. So it doesn't have to be something formal. I practice yoga, but you don't have to be a yogi to enjoy just breathing, just remembering to breathe, and that can help a lot to relieve stress. Great tip. What's your next one for us, Maria?
I want to just add to what you were just saying, if I may, Lisa.
Absolutely.
I have 4 animals in my house. They are so dear to me, and they give me a huge opportunity to relieve stress when we play or when they just cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have animals in our lives, babies can do the same thing sometimes. When we have, young people who depend on us, right? People who aren't old enough or aren't able to speak and ask of us, but just give unconditionally. If we surround ourselves at a time when we need to release the stress with with those kinds of beings, it allows us to just take a deep breath and really relax into it.
Nice.
So,
As a pet owner and pet lover, I totally agree. Animals give us much more than they take from us, and if you're feeling lonely during the holidays, adopt a pet. There is definitely unconditional love.
absolutely. There is responsibility in doing that, but there is great payback. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Yes.
So what's your next tip of bringing some hope, happiness, and healing to the holidays?
I think the next tip is to surround yourself with supportive people. People who get us. People who understand what we may be going through. People who are there gladly to help raise our spirits. When we surround ourselves with the positive people in our lives, we feel the love, and it's just it's the law of nature. When we feel that love, we are much more able to reflect that back. When we surround ourselves with negative people, they bring us down. So at a time when we are very stressed out, at a time when the holidays sometimes don't allow us to pick and choose who we're with, so if we make time to also be with those people who are very positive and help lift our spirits, then we are more able to manage the time that we are with the people who maybe bring us down, but it's the holidays and we need to be there. So finding the balance is what I'm suggesting, that if you can be with positive people all of the time, it is absolutely a joy. But it doesn't always fit. Sometimes there are people in our families that are not as positive as we'd like to be, and we still need to spend holiday time with them, and that's okay. Finding the balance, though, and making sure that you also have positive people that you can spend time with and lift your spirits is what helps you get balanced.
Well, one of the things that people in our circles may be challenged with is, the division of their families. They may not be spending the holidays with in-laws and other folks that they may have before, and that the feeling of isolation, of separation, can make it very lonely time. So I suggest, finding a support group, your church or synagogue, looking for even a meetup group of folks who have similar interests. Again, like Maria said, finding those who will help elevate your spirits and surround you and support you during this time is vitally important. You do not want to go through the holidays alone and isolated. And even reaching out and helping others, volunteering at a charity, a soup kitchen or something during the holidays, it gives you a sense of purpose, of giving back, of knowing that there are others that have problems worse than us. There's always someone who can use a helping hand, and that helps them and that helps us as we do that as well. So
absolutely. Great idea.
Maria, what about self-care? What can folks do to, some things that you can do for yourself? We've talked about breathing, we've talked about, giving back and surrounding yourself with good folks. What are a few other things that you can do, that just little tips along the way? Things you might help with your clients.
Yeah, everyone has a different view of self-care, but I like to suggest to my clients that it is mandatory, not optional. So whatever we like to do that makes us feel better, we should make time to do in our normal routine. It's not something that maybe once a month we'll make an appointment, or maybe once a year we'll go to the spa. It's not enough. It needs to be daily. So the kinds of things that we can do daily are taking time for ourselves, like we talked about before, making sure we're getting the kind of exercise that allows us to release our attention, allow us to think more clearly. I have a spa at home, a hot tub, and I like to get into that several times a week. Mm. It just gives me an opportunity, and my husband and I do it together, so it gives us an opportunity just to chat and talk about what's going on with us. And we usually do it before dinner, so it's a nice relaxing way to end my work day. He's retired, so but to end my work day and then have dinner together.
Make things a part of your routine, is what you're saying.
That's it. It's making time, just like we need to exercise. Do the walk that you were talking about. Not only does that give you time to think clearly and relieve stress, but it's very good for your body, right? Mm-hmm. So that's part of self-care. What else could it be? I like to have my nails done. I make time for that. And I always make time to do that during the week when it's normally work time, because it's a treat for me. So think about those things that we might be able to do and schedule the time so that it feels like a treat. It feels like we're taking care of ourselves. And when we feel like we're taking care of ourselves, we feel better about ourselves.
Very good. Very good. Well, these have been some great tips, and it can be very difficult during the holidays, like we talked about, whether you're not going to be with folks that you've normally been with, or whether you're going to be with folks who can push your buttons. We've all got to find that balance in life, and we hope that some of these tips here today will make your holidays brighter. And Maria has a special gift for those who are watching this. And Maria, you want to share that? And also, we've had a little technical glitch. We've not been able to get Maria's information here on the screen. So why don't you give the viewers your contact information and your website?
Sure. My gift is really my last tip. And I've written an article about this as well, and maybe Lisa, you can talk about when we might be able to find that. But it's about gratitude. One of the best ways I know of to feel better and to relieve stress, fear, guilt, hate, hurt, is to express gratitude. And with Thanksgiving coming up, it's a great opportunity for us to express gratitude in a really powerful way, and that's by sharing it in a group. So as we're around the Thanksgiving table, one of the things I like to do around mine is to go around the table. Depending on how many people we have, we might go around just once if it's a very large crowd, or around the table 3 times. And each person expressing what they're grateful for today. And it's okay if somebody says something that somebody else wants to be grateful for as well. It's okay to repeat things. It's okay. And go around the table, and if we do this, what happens is the vibration level of the room elevates. You can't help but feel better when you've been listening to what other people are grateful for and expressing what you're grateful for over the course of probably 2 or 3 minutes. You can't also feel fear at that time. You can't. It's not possible. You can't also feel hate or guilt when you're expressing gratitude. So what would you rather do? Would you rather be in those negative emotions, or would you rather take 90 seconds and do a gratitude rampage, or what I like to call 90 seconds of grace from gratitude?
Love that. Love that. Well, folks, we will have Maria's article on her profile at Divorcetown USA. That's Maria Tomas Keegan at divorcetownusa.com under Life Coaches or Divorce Coaches. And also, you can find out more about Maria there. And Maria, please give your direct website as well.
Yes, thank you. So it's yoursafeharborcoaching.com. And if you go to that website, you'll also see that I have a new book available that I think some of your readers may enjoy. It's 5 practical choices divorced women can make to reduce isolation, re-energize your life, and return you to balance. So that's a book, and they're welcome to go to my website and download it from there.
Well, great. So you can find Maria at either place, and if you find Maria at Divorcetown USA, you can go right from there to her website and get that free resource. It sounds yummy. So, Maria, again, thank you so much for being my guest today, and I appreciate your time and your patience as we worked through some really big technical glitches today, and the patience and persistence paid off. So,
yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Lisa. It was fun working through those technical difficulties with you.
I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate you, and thank you very much for being here. And Susanna, you have the controls, so we're going to ask you to turn us off.